Hey everybody, Adam with the BMW Repair Guide. Today we are going to repair a seat occupancy sensor on this 2011 335i. This is a very common issue with the E90, the 2007 through 2013 3 Series. What happens is the seat occupancy sensor in the passenger side seat breaks. This is very common. It's a part that after years of use eventually breaks, and what happens is the car thinks that there's someone in the seat even when there isn't. And what a lot of people will do is they'll just drive around with their seatbelt plugged in to keep the seatbelt light off of the dashboard and to keep it from chiming, the seatbelt reminder. Also, a lot of people will buy plugs that stick in here to, trick the system to make it think that there's someone in the seat. But these are short-term solutions. Eventually, most people want to fix their seat. Now, the problem is the seat occupancy sensor on the E90 3 Series is actually part of the inner seat cushion. It's extremely expensive, usually anywhere from $750 to $1,000, and you have to take the seat apart to actually install it. It's very time-consuming, expensive repair. What we are going to do today is we are going to install what's called an emulator. And it's a little box that's going to go on the wiring harness underneath the seat to trick the car into thinking that someone is sitting in it. Therefore you don't have to drive around with the seatbelt plugged in. Now, the only drawback to it is the airbags will deploy if there's a wreck. So we don't suggest using an emulator if you drive around with small kids in the front seat. But if you don't have small kids in the front seat, then it's a perfectly acceptable repair to do that will save you a ton of money. So we're going to go through the step-by-step instructions. It is possible in some cases to install the emulator without removing the seat, but we're going to remove the seat because it just makes life a lot easier. Plus, it's much better for making a video. It just gives us a better view of what's going on. So let's get started. So like we just mentioned, it may be possible to do this repair without moving the seat, but we're going to go ahead and remove it. It only takes a couple minutes to get the seat out of the car. So to me, it only makes sense to go ahead and pull it out so you can do this repair properly. We'll use a T50 Torx bit to remove the front two seat rail bolts. So we'll go ahead and turn these out. And then once you get the front seat bolts out, you're going to want to move the seat forward and get the rear ones out. Okay, once you get all the seat belt bolts out of the rails, you can simply just tilt the seat back like this. And as you can see, now we have clear access to all the wiring harnesses under the seat. Makes it just super simple repair instead of trying to reach under with the seat still bolted to the seat rails. So I do highly suggest, before you go any further and start unplugging the wiring harnesses to put the emulator on, that you disconnect the battery. Disconnect the negative terminal off of the battery. And I have heard horror stories of people working on modules underneath the seat like this and causing a short and burning out a control module. So always disconnect the negative battery cable. Do yourself a favor and save yourself a lot of headaches by causing an inadvertent short when disconnecting a wiring harness. Okay, when you unpack the emulator, you're going to see there's going to be two components in the envelope for the E90. One of them actually overrides the actual mat, the seat mat. The other one is actually an override for the seatbelt chime. So we actually have to install two different components to complete this repair. Now, the seat mat emulator has these little switches on it, and these switches are simply dependent on what country you're in installing this. If you're in the US and Canada, you want to leave switch number 1 on and 2 and 3 off. If you're in the EU or anywhere else in the world besides the United States or Canada, all 3 switches should be in the off position. So we'll go ahead and get these installed now. Okay, moving back inside the vehicle, you can see underneath the seat right here is our actual seat mat where the occupancy sensor is located. And as we said at the beginning of the video, replacing the seat mat is extremely expensive. So what we're going to do is we're going to override the seat mat with the gray box with the seat mat emulator. And we're going to do that by removing it from the bottom of the mat like this. Then disconnecting the connector. Like that. And as you can see, we have disconnected the seat mat from the wiring harness. And then what you're going to do is you're going to plug the actual seat mat emulator back in its place. Like so. Now we have overridden the actual seat mat, and this will take away the warning light on the dashboard, as well as the airbag light. We'll turn the airbag light off as well. So next, we're going to want to override the actual seat belt chime, and to do that, we're going to move to this yellow wiring harness bracket or plug right here, and we need to pull this apart. And to do that, you pull this release up like this. And like I said at the beginning of the video, we highly recommend you disconnect the battery. I know there's other videos and articles online that say you don't have to. We highly suggest you do. Go ahead and pull this apart like this. Now the actual seat chime is that plastic fitting inside there. So we're going to have to take a screwdriver and slowly remove these fittings like this. These connectors rather. And they just pop out like so. And right there you can see the red and the black, which lines up with our actual seat chime override. So to remove the red and the black wire that control the seatbelt chime, use a metal pick and you just press down, like this, and what will happen is that will allow you to pull the wire free from the back side. So press down. And pull the wire free. And we will repeat that on the black one. And the black one's free as well. Now all we're going to do is replace these two wires with the chime bypass. Very simple. So make sure they're in the right order that they came out. Put the black one in first. And you'll push it in until it snaps into position. Like that. And then the same with the red. Make sure your little tab is facing up and it slides in until it snaps into position. And you're all set. You're going to go ahead and reassemble everything. Now if you've got an airbag light on, you'll probably have to use a diagnostic scanner to erase the fault code. Other than that, it's very straightforward. As you can see, the whole repair only takes about 15 to 20 minutes tops. Any home mechanic, beginner home mechanic can easily do this. We have all of the parts and tools needed for this repair located below in our description. If you found our video to be helpful, we would appreciate it if you like it. We would also appreciate it if you subscribe to our channel. And if you have any other questions concerning your E90 BMW, please visit us at bmwrepairguide.com.